What up, guys? CP the Tool Addict here, coming back at you. Part 2, Deuce. We're going to talk about the old tool dealer, what makes a tool truck dealer a great guy. In this part, we're not going to talk about some of the negatives. We're going to talk about some of the positives that what I've always found that made a tool dealer or someone that I really enjoyed a better tool dealer. And some of the things is, you know, constantly showing new product. It's a challenge. And a lot of guys will probably tell you that it's not easy, but you're constantly getting new product shoved down your throat. You're constantly trying to sell a product that you normally sell. But sometimes it's just neat to be able to see stuff that you haven't seen. We forget about things, you know, with all the cordless stuff on the horizon and whatnot. We forget about things like these ratchets. And if you watch my live stream, I kind of talked about this a little bit. This is a AR778. I don't know what the part numbers are now, guys. I've had this one forever. This is a 3/8 flathead air ratchet, and this is by far your best choice for a ratchet on the market for air powered, in my opinion. A lot of guys might say the Snap-on, but I'm going to tell you right now, this little guy right here with that flip lever, it's shift on the fly, 3/8, plenty of power. This thing's a beast. I've loved this ratchet for a long time. It's been a great ratchet. I use my 1/4 AR1778 quite a bit. What did I say this one was? AR778? Yeah, so the 17 is the 1/4 version, but this is a great ratchet. And everybody's shoving cordless stuff down your throat. Cordless is great, but when it comes to real power, the air is still king. That's all there is to it. There's no doubt about it. But getting off of what I was talking about is a tool dealer showing you things. Sometimes, like these old Snap-on pliers, you see van pliers getting shoved down your throat from everybody all the time. Well, these are been out for a long time, and these are made by Snap-on, and they're essentially the same kind of design as van pliers. They work absolutely good. These are the 612E AEPs from Snap-on. These are a rebranded one, but these are from Matco, and I don't remember the part number. These are fuse pullers, very handy. They're a little slick. I wish they were a little bit more grippy. They have this texturing here. But if your tool dealer is showing you stuff like this, 6-point bleeder wrenches, these are VIMs, rebranded Matcos, you know, constantly showing you new old product or whatnot like that. If you're finding it on YouTube, that's great, but you know, sometimes you just don't have time to look. So that's one of the things that really brings it to me is always set apart. Now, if they're trying to sell it to you, sometimes people aren't very responsive to that, and I understand that. You know, you don't really need to get products shoved down your throat. I was never that type of person. I was always like, "Hey, man, have you ever seen this?" Bam, you know, and they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, well, let me show you. And then they're like, then I'd just walk away. Let them determine whether or not they want the tool. That's their choice sometimes. I'm not saying that I'm teaching you how to sell stuff. I'm just telling you what I always found to be good. When my tool dealer came around, he was always really good about showing me stuff. You know, if he didn't have any new product, he would bring in some old product. There was maybe something that was handy, that was always a good seller, that people always bought. They definitely make your job easier when you find something that you can use like that. For instance, I never knew when I was looking into this tool that this torque assist on these Mac impacts, and I've really enjoyed this since I've been using this. Now, I still haven't done a full review on it because it hasn't been time, but this is the MCF 894 mid torque, 600 breakaway, 325 foot-pounds of forward torque. There's a lot of skewed information out there on this thing. I had to do some research. These batteries right here are definitely tougher than the Milwaukee batteries, without a doubt. As far as whether or not they last longer, I haven't really found any difference on that yet. I don't really look for it. I haven't got to that point yet. I can take everybody's word for it, but I'm honestly, unless I actually do it myself and see for myself, I'm not going to buy a whole lot of what's being sold out there. But what I do like about this tool is that it has this torque assist. You see what that does is it slows down the process so you don't fling a lug nut or something like that across the shop. And I'm not a sponsor or getting paid for any of this here, but I did not know about that, and I've enjoyed that feature a lot, especially when you're putting on sockets or putting on lug nuts and whatnot. It takes it down until it gets to the top, bottoms out, and then you give it another little pinch and it'll start tightening up. So it doesn't just run the bolt on there super hard, especially if you got to cross it or something. Things like that are what make the tool dealer set themselves apart from everybody else. That's how you know you've got a really good tool dealer, when his vast amount of product knowledge goes very far and deep. And it takes some time to get there sometimes. A new tool guy probably doesn't have that. He's got a lot of things on his mind, trying to make money and this and that. But my point for this whole thing is showing new product, learning about new product, talking about product. Sometimes ask your dealer about questions. You know, there's another thing too. You don't always rely on your tool dealer to be your salesman. Sometimes you need to ask him. I text my tool dealers once or twice every couple weeks. You know, hey, you got this product. A shout out to Auto Van Dan. I went to all my tool dealers. We had a BMW in here last week, an X6, M3, and we had some very tight tolerances on some deals on some drain plugs. And all we were trying to do was do a drain and fill on the transfer case, and it was going to result in what we assumed, that you're going to have to just remove the cross member for the transfer case. Now, this is where none of my tool dealers have never seen any of that, but it's not uncommon for me to run in that situation, because I always know there's a tool out there, and if there isn't, then I'm going to be looking at making one. I've gotten a few knowledge or a few ideas out there before. Been close to hitting it big on some tool stuff, but never quite been there. But I'm just not smart enough. That's all the bottom line is. It's not my game. I'm not an engineer. Anyways, the biggest thing is that, you know, when you... So I called all my tool dealers. None of them knew what to do. None of them had anything. Some of them will try to sell you stuff. Hey, this will work, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, they don't really understand the situation. The best tool dealer is just going to say, I don't have anything like that. Look it up, see what it is. Try to find something similar. Now, it ended up being an AGA tool, which was absolutely phenomenal. Great company, great group of guys. Bought these things from them, and they've absolutely, I haven't got, probably won't use them again for a little bit, but I'll definitely have them next time, and I will use them on other applications. Very low profile plug sockets that they have, and 13, it comes in a set 10, 12, 13 and 14 maybe, or something like that, or 10, 11, 12, and 14, I think, 4-piece set. Look them up if you guys are interested. You got some low clearance plug socket stuff. That's what I'm talking about right there. Being knowledgeable about tools. It's not always something that you can just, you either have it or you don't sometimes. And some tool dealers have it, some tool dealers don't. They'll, you know, I try to keep myself well versed, well diversified in tool companies, tool businesses, you know, blah blah blah. It's, you know, not only that for my automotive career, but also for just making life easier. Now, I know that spending money is a big factor for some. Sorry, but you know, at the end of the day, maybe there is that one instance that you can afford to spend the money on the tool, and you don't have to make it. Making the tool sometimes is very, you know, for instance, that's what we did to get that off. We had to cut a 14 millimeter Pittsburgh socket. Took a cheap socket. We've all done it, making your own tools. Cutting a 14 millimeter that hex built socket in half was what we did, and it worked. We needed it. That's what we got done. So, you know, making the tool sometimes is all you have to do. That's what you do. And I've made a ton of tools over the years. Now, I wish I would have saved some of the tools I've made over the years, because you kick yourself in the head when you make these tools and then they come out with one. But you know, I probably made close to 20 different tools to do jobs over the years. Being innovative, some mechanics knock you for it, some people don't. But the thing about it is using a tool dealer for that knowledge, and that's how you know you have a good tool dealer, is that they're able to help you out. If they don't have it and they know their stuff, then they'll tell you right away. And you know, researching, you have a vast deal at your fingertips. When you have your phone, you have a tablet that you can, research on. You have a computer that you can look stuff up on Google. All this stuff. You have all these resources at your fingertips all the time. You don't have to look up a part number. If you can't find it, find a generalization of an idea of what something. Put a description into Google. Search it. You'll be surprised sometimes at what will come up. I do it all the time. And a tool dealer, that was how I made money. Now, the internet wasn't relevant back when I was selling tools because I'm basically a dinosaur now. I say I'm old, but I'm really not. But like I was back when I was technology age was just boom, starting to blossom. But now they have a really, really good resource of tools or information out there, and they have stuff on the website. Give it a shot, guys. Look it up. Take a peek at stuff. Check out things. The heater finally shut off. Talk to your tool dealer. Communicate with them more. Don't always put the tool dealer down and saying that they're out to take your money, because a lot of times it's not exactly the case. Thanks for watching. Remember, please think about subscribing. Like, comment, share. Ring that bell. We'll get back to you in the next one. Let me know in the comment box if you like this one or not. If you like this kind of stuff, I'll try to do a little bit more every once in a while. And we'll catch you on the next one.